Hello and welcome to a new edition of Landmarks, a new series. A new series. It's about landmarks, not just places in Prescot, but moments in history, in Prescot history. And I'm at the Prescot War Memorial, properly known as the Prescot Civic War Memorial. It was unveiled on the 9th of September 1916 after the council had approved it in 1915. That was just a year after the start of the First World War, the Great War, the war that was going to end all wars. We now know that it wasn't the war to end all wars, and this magnificent monument here is a Grade 2 listed monument. The money was put up by John Lucas, who was a builder in Prescot. He's a councillor and a builder. He put the money up for it. It was designed from Aberdeen Granite stone, the whitest of all stones. It was meant to be a magnificent monument for Prescot. Now, if you had grown up in the 1960s, or if you were born at the end of the 1960s and grown up in the 1970s and 80s, you would always know this monument as being here. But it's not the place it started out, and it's fascinating to know where it should have been. It actually should not have been placed here. It should have been placed somewhere else. But I've made a little film to tell that story, because I think it's important to know, and also what we can do about this memorial today. So I'll show you that film now. Okay, that's the story of Prescot Civic War Memorial. Do you ever wake up in the morning and think that the powers that be, you know, these people who lord it over us, these people who make all the decisions in our lives and ultimately create all the wars, because as we know, war is a failure of politics, then do you ever feel that it's just crazy, the world's gone crazy? Now, in this present day, I can tell you it's been like that for generations. In fact, throughout the history of mankind, these people who lord it over us, the governments and the politicians who create these wars and also make the decisions on our behalf. The same is true of this monument here. In 2022, Victoria Chadwick started a petition, an online petition, which I support in actual fact, which is to actually put the war memorial back to Church Street where it was originally. I think that's a great idea, but I would go a step further than that, because I think the war memorial needs a lot of conservation. As you can see from the drone footage I showed, it's pretty damn dirty, isn't it? It needs a good clean up for a start. The bayonet bit that sits on the top there is in a bad state of repair. When they moved the monument, I suspect that the bayonet end was broken off. It's never been replaced. And I took a photograph of the monument in 1976, which is only a few years after it was moved, but the bayonet wasn't there then. The end of the gun and the bayonet. The repair, I don't know who's done the repair. They've tried the best, but as we can see close up, it's not as good as it should be. Also, it had a strap underneath the gun, which was probably made of metal, a metal strap. That's disappeared. The monument is not in a great condition. And I grew up here. In fact, I lived at Greenall Court here, number 25, Greenall Court. And every morning I would open the curtains and see this monument. I even took photos of the monument in the 1970s. And I always thought, even back then as a young man, that it's not in the right place. It's stuck behind a parish church in what is a churchyard. This is a churchyard. It wasn't meant to be here. It was meant to be in Marketplace, like I said in the film. It was meant to be on neutral territory, and that's where it should be, in a prominent position, not stuck at the back of a church. And also, it's a Church of England site. People associate this monument with the Church of England. But what about the Catholic Church that is just over there? And what about any other denomination? War memorials are for all people, not for a particular denomination. And the fact that it's on church land suggests, whether it's right or not, that it is of the Church of England. It's a Church of England war memorial, and it's not. It's a civic war memorial that's for all people, and it should be in a prominent position. It's a grade 2 listed monument. It's the first of its kind in Britain ever to be erected during the Great War. During the war, only a year into the war, it had been decided to have this war memorial. So I would say, I'm going to give you a link to the petition online, and I'm going to say to you, go and sign that petition. But also, I would urge more of a conservation campaign to conserve this monument, to reinstate the original metal ironwork that came around the outside of the monument and the brickwork, and to put it right. These people who this commemorates were often young men, children, who died for our freedom. And I don't think this is a respectful way to commemorate them. I think we can do better. We can do better. If we can build the Shakespeare of the North, we can certainly conserve this monument and bring it up to a proper state and give people the people who've died for our country the respect that they deserve. So thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this vlog. If you have, give it a thumbs up, like the video page and share it on your social media platforms and whatever you want to do, and I'll see you again in the next vlog. Thanks for watching. Bye.